Hello and welcome to today's lesson. Today we're talking about CSS linear gradient. Use angles in CSS, use multiple color steps, use transparency, and know what repeating linear gradient is. CSS gradient. CSS gradient lets you display smooth transitions between two or more specified colors. CSS defines two types of gradient: linear gradient and radial gradient. The linear gradient goes down, up, left, right, diagonal or diagonally. But for this sake of this lesson, we'll be talking about only linear gradient. So to create a linear gradient, you must define at least two color stops. Color stops are the colors you want to render. You want to render smooth transitions among. You can also set a starting point and a direction or an angle along with the gradient effect. So let's go to our VS Code so we know how linear gradient works. So for example, we're using linear gradient, who, as I said, goes from left to right, can go diagonally also, can go from right to left anywhere we want it. So but for this one, we'll be using an example of left to right. Now let's create our style. As you can see, then we are going from left to right. Say grade 1. Remember dots. Let's just give it an height of, let's say, 200 pixel. Let's give it background image of linear gradient to right, red, let's say green. So let's save and see how this. Oh, and so it's not a class, it's an ID. So let's save. So let's check our browser now and see how it is. Good. Now see how it goes from right to left, left to right. You can see it flows like this. So next we'll do for diagonal. Check how it goes diagonally and see how it is. So remember, by default, if you don't add to left or to right or to bottom right, it automatically means you're going from top down. Let's see an example of that and see how it goes. So using the same, this from top to bottom, let's see how it goes. Ash, red, 2. Remember, I give it an height, let's say 100 pixel. Then background image of linear. Remember, when you do if you don't specify to right, it automatically means from top bottom. So let's say black, gray. So let's save and see how it is. Good, you can see it starts black here, then comes transitions down here. So this is how linear gradient is in CSS. And that's style using linear gradient. So next we talk about using angles. If you want more control over the direction of the gradient, you can define an angle instead of the predefined directions to bottom, to top, to right, to left, to bottom, right, to C. You can define an angle. So let's define an angle. Let's use define an angle. Let's see how it goes. Also, as we are saying, we are also going to use multiple color stop. We'll define an angle. We also use multiple color stops. Let's see how it goes. Let's see how it's going to be. I know how to use. So for this, we'll also copy this and let's see. So grad 3, we'll be using angles here. Using angles, write this multiple colored stops. Multiple color stops. So speak grad 4. So let's see how this is. Let's create our style. Hash grad 3. Be using angles. Remember, height 100 pixel. We're using background image linear. We're using degrees, so let's say 75 degrees. Comma yellow, comma blue. As for the multiple, let's just do one for the multiple gradient. Hash grad 4. Okay, I think there's an error of somewhere. Okay, yes, grad 4. Say height 100 pixel also. Then give a background image linear gradient, let's say orange, purple, and around tone, and let's say hash. No, let's go gray. Yes. But so let's see how this tool looks. Save and then go to your browser and check. So good. Now this is, we're using angles here. Look at it. We're using multiple stops. Look at them. Different. You can see. So you can mix and match them how you like. So let's cut. So lastly for today, we're talking about using transparency and repeating linear gradient. So CSS gradient also support transparency, which can be used to create fading effect. So our transparency, we use the RGB function to define the color stops. The last parameter in the RGB function can be a value from 0 to 1, and it defines the transparency of the color. Then indicates full transparency, one indicates no transparency. So for repeating linear gradients, the repeating linear gradients function is used to repeat linear gradient. Example, you have a grad, the background image repeating. You say repeating linear gradients, red, yellow, 10%, green, 20%. Now let's go to our VS Code and see how this works. The two, using transparency and repeating linear gradients. For our transparency, we have grad 5 and grad 6. Let's see how they are. How to use transparency and multiple stops, repeating multiple stops. So let's first do our transparency. Let's do our transparency. Remember, we'll be using RGB for transparency. So grad 5, give me a height of 100 pixel, background image. Remember, we'll be using RGB. So as usual, we're using our linear gradient to write. Then we're using our RGBA, say 255, 0, 0, 0. And let's say RGBA 255, 0, 0, 1. Okay, let's see how this looks. Now, and then let's see how this looks first. Oh, before that, let's create for repeating stops also. Multiple repeating stops. We have grad 5, hash grad 6, height of 100 pixel, background image as usual. And so for our linear repeats, for our multiple repeating stops, we'll use we wouldn't be just using the linear we're using this called repeats. Sorry, let's clear this. Is repeating linear gradients, yes. And we'll say so. Okay, let's leave it from top bottom. So we'll say let's say red, yellow 10%, green 20%. So let's see how this looks in our browser right now. Aha, good. So this is our gradient using transparency. This is using repeating multiple stops. You can see how it is. So you can mix and match how you like. Be creative. Use it anyhow you like, depending on what you are doing, depending on the desired UI you need. So that's that on repeating linear gradients. With that, we have come to the end of our lesson for today. Thanks for watching. Bye.